What is up, Mav fans and hoop heads? Hope your vibes are immaculate today. I'm AG, your host, CEO, director, manager, and all that. Welcome on into another episode of Mavs Rundown. Appreciate you for listening. Yo, the Mavs get the dub tonight. I'm excited just because we overcame. First half that's kind of a little bit ugly, and Mavs get the dub against Houston, 110-91. Big team win. I'm more excited just because this game just shows this. What good teams do when they play the sorrier teams. You're supposed to crush them, and we did that tonight. First half wasn't looking so good, but in the second half they really turned it on and handled their business tonight, and we're able to get key guys even get them rest for Friday's game, which is the next really couple games are gonna be big for the Mavs, and really every game for the rest of this season is gonna be big. But tonight they come in, they handle business at home against the Rockets. Awesome, team win. Really, player of the game tonight was was Jalen Brunson. And he finished tonight 28 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And that was all through just only 3 quarters. He didn't play any in the fourth. So, Jalen Brunson stepped up. And the Spencer Dinwiddie-Jalen Brunson combo tonight was amazing. Spencer Dinwiddie finished with 26 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. Dinwiddie was 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Jalen Brunson 8 of 9 for the free throw line. They were getting to the basket. They were doing, basically anything at will. Jalen Brunson didn't hit any threes, but he was killing it from everywhere else. But really, those two guys really stepped up tonight. In Luka's absence, that's what you like to see. This is what we want to see. This is what we've been craving, what we've been waiting to see, man. Like, when Luka's out, or especially if he's resting or whatever the reason may be, even if he's just out the game in a normal game he's playing, when he's sitting out and it's the other guys, we want to see everybody just step up. And especially now in a game where Luka's out, they say he's sore right ankle or whatever, but it's really just rest. J Kidd has already mentioned he wants to make sure these guys are fresh and healthy for the playoffs. That's why guys are kind of missing games here and there, to make sure we're all fresh for the playoffs, because that's in the end that's where we our main focus is, because we definitely want to make sure we get out of the first round this year. So we're gonna make sure everybody's rested up, good to go. But yeah, big gains by these guys, and I'll go ahead and just dive right into my game notes I had. And the first, we're just glad to have Spencer. Him and Jalen Brunson led the Mavs there in the first quarter. It was looking kind of icky at first when the Rockets had the lead, but Brunson and Dinwiddie were able to finish the quarter strong. Dinwiddie finished perfect from the field, 11 points, 3 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. Jalen Brunson had 6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists at the end, being very aggressive. But yeah, they led the way in the first quarter, kind of set the tone for the Mavs where we wanted to go. The second things got ugly for us. Rockets won that quarter 32-27, and it really, great. It was due to their bench. Their bench was really killing it. They had Dennis Schroeder and Sengun off the bench were killer in that second quarter. They finished at halftime. They had 9 points. Schroeder had 9 points, and Sengun had 11. They were key for them in that run there. And the Mavericks defense was just lacking tonight in the second. It looked like they were just, trying to hurry up, get this game over with, and they weren't, really into it like they should be. And all that really cleared up in the second half. But really quick, I want to touch on the second. In the second quarter, this really hit me, and I took a note of this. It shows how this team is super reliant on our 3 main ball handlers, which is Luka, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Jalen Brunson, which we'll get to another good shining little star in this game in a minute, named the French Prince. But other than that, man, he had a good game. But other than that, he kind of has, the off nights are not the big offensive nights we're looking for yet. Tonight was, one of the good showings for him. But in the second quarter, man, it just really showed and really, about this team that we're very reliant on Luka, Spencer and JB to be our ball handlers. Because when it's anybody else, it just looks ugly. And it's kind of yikes out there. Even with Frank, sometimes it's kind of he's getting better as with his playmaking and looking for a shot, being aggressive with the shot. But he's out there for mainly defense and just having to rely on anybody but Brunson, Spencer, or Luka with the ball handling is kind of like yikes. Trey Burke didn't get any run. I don't know if he was hurt. Just tonight they wanted to mainly just give it to Frank, which I can't really blame him too much. Trey hasn't really been on lately, so gotta give Frank, the young guy, let him try to blossom offensively because we know his defense is there, so we just want to see his offensive game kind of catch up, and he'd be a nice two-way player just in the league in general, and he'll have a long career if he can just get his offensive game come around. And I'll go ahead and mention it now. Frank finished with 13 points tonight, so he did pretty good for us off the bench. 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. So did his playmaking, got a steal. He had 21 minutes, had 3 turnovers, but did all right. Still did really good job tonight for the Mavs off the bench. But in the third quarter, honestly, back to the game. The third quarter, Jalen Brunson just went off. He was like, "Yo, we need to quit with the shits." And really step it up because Jalen Brunson was so aggressive. The Mavs stepped up their defense. Jalen Brunson finished with 16 points in the third quarter, and as I said, he didn't play the whole fourth quarter, so he ended up with 28 at the end. But he had 16 points in the third quarter. He was 5 of 6 from the field, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. He tied his career high for any quarter, points in a quarter. Good game to do it. With Luka out, we wanted to see him be aggressive and really take that next step and show that without Luka, he can step up and be that next playmaker, scorer, creator, and all the whole bunch. And he did that in the third quarter. And he put the Mavs up 82-72. We had a 10-point lead at the end of the third. Spence finished the quarter with 19. So he did. He was doing his thing too. But Jalen Brunson was really the big time aggressor tonight. And man, he put him up. He really sparked the Mavs. Because at the end of the third, Mavs had a 10-point lead. In the fourth, it was a blowout, man. It was it. The Mavs started the fourth. They go on a 13-3 run. And it was 95-75, put them up by 20. And after that, it was over. With 7 minutes left, it was game over. And Mavs just kind of cruised to the end. I think with like 3 or 4 minutes left. They ended up putting the rest of the subs in. It was all subs. And, game over from there. And so, great game by everyone here. Jalen Brunson said after the game, the key for the Mavs is paint touches. And for his job, and especially a game with Luka out. And I think that's important to know because, these guys aren't just settling for shots or settling for long jumpers. They know they have to get into the paint, whether that's, to kick it out to somebody else or to just try to drive and make a play at the basket or whatever. But they know they have to get to the paint, which is a good sign by, good coaching, showing that they're focused. They know what they need to do. They're focused on what they need to do. Because on a night like tonight, we didn't shoot well from 3. We shot 25% from 3. Granted, they only shot 14%. But, we shot just well enough, better than them. But it was really about, the points in the paint. Overall field goal percentage, we shot 48% from the field. They only shot 40. We did really well. Points in the paint, we led that 62 to their 54. That's a good sign. Rebounding battle, only, lost by 3. But again, we're going to give up the rebounding battle most nights, but, we're going to do everything else we need to do. We won the points in the paint, and we shot better from 3, technically. We made 8 threes to their 4. So that was enough for us to win. And, credit to the Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie really just taking over when Luka's out. Luka's absence, they step up, and have stepped up. And it's good to see. It gives you confidence. It gives you confidence moving forward and everything. And not much else about this game specifically. Maxi Kleber came in, played good minutes defensively. Didn't hit a three, but was two of 5 from the field. Had 6 points, 9 rebounds. That's good. 2 assists. So good stuff from him. It was a plus 17, so you know he was doing good stuff defensively on the floor as always. We were just hoping his threes would start falling, but none did tonight. 0-3, as I said. Everyone else, just all right. Josh Green had 20 minutes, didn't really do a whole lot. I guess he played solid defense, but other than that, not a whole lot. But the only main guy off the bench for the Mavs tonight was Frank Ntilikina. Yeah, he played solid. Had a good pull-up jumper, hit a 3, hit a corner. Should have been a 3, but he toe on the line, so it ended up being a 2. Should have had 2 threes, but it was only being 1. Just a good night all around. He had 4, as I said, he had 4 assists, and that's good to see because he's not only just looking for a shot, but he's playmaking. He had 1. He had a oop to Dodo that was really nice. Then he comes down, then he hit. I think that's when he hit that 3-pointer right after that. So he's just doing things that you want to see him progress at and do more of. So good stuff from the Mavs. And that's pretty much it for the actual game. Dodo, had a good, not the best shooting night, but obviously a great game. He was our biggest plus minus, what he does all around for us. 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist, 3 steals. Just doing everything you need. Had 2 threes. Reggie Bullock had a 3. Kind of a little bit off night shooting for him, but still solid defense from him. It's what we get from Dodo and Reggie. It's good defense and at least solid, performance shooting. At least they're going to do everything else all around in the game that you need, to get wins in the NBA. He had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. So see, those guys are getting the steals, deflections, all that type of stuff. They're, long defenders. It's good stuff. Dwight Powell, great tonight, 6 of 8 tonight. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists in 24 minutes. So good stuff from him in his minutes when he played. And that's pretty much it. One thing I did take from the Mavs tonight and had me thinking, Harp says some off the wall stuff, but he did say one thing, and it had me go off on what I was thinking tonight is kind of the main key, my main takeaway from this type of game, and really what I'm thinking about the Mavs moving forward and what I'm thinking about in the playoffs. And my playoff question would be is, can JB and Maxey step up for us? I think JB, Jalen Brunson, and Maxey Kleber are our X factors for the playoffs. Hands down, our X factors. Because I feel like we know what we're going to get from Luka. We know what we're going to get from Dodo. We know what we can expect, at least, from a Reggie, because that's a similar fashion as Dodo. Just, we hope these guys can make their shots. But otherwise, they're going to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to take the shots. They may not make them, but they're going to take them. Dwight Powell, we kind of know what he can do. The rest of our guys on our bench aren't really proven, but even Spencer Dinwiddie, I feel like he can even do it with his his frame. I feel like he can still do the same type of stuff in the playoffs and do really well. Just for the Mavs' sake, for the us seeing Jalen Brunson and Maxi Kleber play over these last handful of years. And especially now in the last 2 years in the playoffs against the Clippers, a really good team, we haven't seen these guys shine. They haven't had bright moments at all. And I think it's a good question and a great thing to look forward to. I guess either way you want to look at it, but I feel like these 2 guys are the Mavs X factor if we want to move and advance in the playoffs. I feel like, as I said, Luka, Spencer, Dodo, all those guys are going to bring it. But what are we going to get from Jalen Brunson? What are we going to get from Maxi Kleber? Is Maxi Kleber going to show up like a night like tonight where he just goes 2 for 5, 0 for 3 in the playoffs? Is that going to be enough? Is Jalen Brunson going to show up in the playoffs like he did tonight and go off, 10 of 19, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, have 28 points? Like, can they do that? Granted, it's a fair question, kind of the rest of the guys, but I feel like just given the situation, the contract situation with Jalen Brunson, and then Max Kleber especially, like they're such a big factor. Hart, as I think I didn't even finish what I was saying about Hart, but as Hart said, like Maxi Kleber, what kind of sparked this? He said that what he sees Maxi Kleber doing on offense, if he makes when he's making threes or whatever, that's just a bonus. And I'm like thinking to myself, that's actually kind of correct because we know he's going to night in, night out bring the defense. It's just the threes normally he's kind of the key to the offense. Like if he's hitting threes, then we're almost unstoppable. We're basically essentially unstoppable because then all of a sudden we plug him at the end of games at the 5. And of course he's playing, great defense. And then on the other end, he's knocking down threes on you if you're not leaving them open. And that's such a, true thing. And that's going to be the big thing that's going to be our X factor in the playoffs. Like, can Maxey, get over these shooting woes and start hitting shots in the playoffs because we're going to need him to hit shots. Like, I don't think we can move on from the first round with him in the type of slump that he's been in. I think he's going to really have to hit a couple threes in some games and things like that to really help, push us over. Not even asking for when Maxey was kind of at his peak where he kind of hit like 4 threes for us and stuff. We just need like a couple at least from him and just kind of come up big, really in the big moments because we know they're going to try and double all these other guys. So he's going to get some of these open shots like he has all season. So in the playoffs, we're really going to need to see him hit these corner threes or these wide open threes that he usually gets, per game. Like all 3 of his threes tonight were basically pretty much open, and that's how he gets his three. A lot of his threes are pretty much open, especially when he's confident and can pull the trigger quick. He can get a lot of open threes just like that, and it's going to be big for him to hit it. And then of course on the Jalen Brunson side, Spencer can pick up the slack now. We know that he can. But we're still going to need another guy, especially if we don't have Tim Hardaway to kind of also rely on to give, kind of JB and Spencer some slack. Like, it's all on Spencer and Jalen Brunson to make these plays. And we're going to need to see Jalen Brunson and Maxi Kleber step up, especially Jalen Brunson, too. Just talked about Maxi. But Jalen Brunson is going to have to make these plays like he made tonight. He had, scoring in the paint, making, difficult little floaters. He's hitting his shots, basically doing all his little crafty moves, but just finishing on everything. Like he was, actually making all the shots tonight. And it's good to see because he was actually being aggressive. And the aggressiveness, he said that the mindset doesn't change, but I feel like it does. And if we can get this Jalen Brunson every night, even with Luka out there, like, this would be amazing. Not to be selfish. I think Jalen Brunson knows how to play, not to be selfish with it, but he definitely could be a lot more aggressive on some nights that we talked about. Or, granted, if Spencer's going off too, you can only be so aggressive. You want to make sure he gets his too. But just overall, we want to see Jalen Brunson looking aggressive, looking to get a shot, at least getting, like we said, paint touches. You want him to strike the defense, get into the heart of the defense, which is in the paint, and then make a play from there. If he can get a shot up, good. If not, we trust him on making the right play, the right pass to get it out because he's a great assist man too. And so it's going to be crucial for these two guys, I feel, stepping up in the playoffs. And these are the Mavs X factors moving forward in the playoffs. And I think tonight really shows how big we need these guys. Like Spencer, stepping up did well, but if Jalen Brunson didn't have that third quarter, the Mavs are in a dog fight tonight. Maxey didn't really show up tonight on 3. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if Maxey's not hitting shots, then you're really going to need Spencer and Brunson to go off and kind of really, carry the load. And they did tonight. They both scored over 25, 26. Spencer and Jalen Brunson 28. Like, that's what we need. And especially, Dodo and Reggie didn't even shoot well. Like, mainly, those only two guys are like, they led the way. So, and that's what we're going to need in the playoffs. And I think the addition of Spencer really helped ease Jalen Brunson, so he's not having all that pressure being just that other guy next to Luka, because I think that would have to mean he'd have to be like an all-star caliber type player to be the only guy. But now with having three of these, main ball handlers, it kind of lessens the load. And hopefully that pays off and pays dividends in the playoffs, because then maybe Jalen Brunson will feel more confident, just like he did tonight. Granted, we're going against the Rockets, but he's had other games this year where he's just been more aggressive with his shot and scored more points. And good stuff by Jalen. I know there's going to be a stat, I forgot how many 20-point games he's had, but I know it's the most he's ever scored in a season. So this just adds to it. And it's another great game by Spence. Damn, I just keep looking at Spencer's stat line. I'm just like, damn. Because he was killer in that first quarter for us. He took over the Luka role for sure in the first quarter for us, where, Luka normally scores a lot of points in the first quarter. Spencer did that shit tonight and finished with a very efficient game. 4 of 6 from 3. Like, damn. With 8 free throws, like, he's 6 assists with that. Oh, man, like, great game. Like, Jalen Brunson definitely player of the game, but Spencer Dinwiddie, damn, man. Like, this, I know if I was another NBA team, I would not want to play the Mavericks. Like, the way we're playing defense, which, oh, man, I don't even want to talk about these talking heads on TV that obviously don't watch it. Because someone said the Mavs aren't, like, oh, they're not a good team. But in the same breath, they were talking about how the Celtics were doing really good and have been, since the All-Star break and all that. But it's like, what the fuck? What, you not seeing the Mavericks are right there with them and, right after them in all those stats and categories? Like, yeah, crazy. People, they blow my mind when they, talking heads on TV, when it's obvious, they're not paying attention to shit. But anyways, moving on to the shit that matters, the Mavericks. Yeah, man, the good stuff about the Mavs tonight. Those questions that I had, I think this tonight really puts a whole spotlight and really back onto Jalen Brunson. And now all of a sudden those questions that kind of got a little quiet over the season, everything was loud, but since Spencer, things have gotten a little quiet. But now I know that spotlight and that noise is going to start getting louder about Jalen Brunson having to step up in the playoffs for us, because no matter who we go against in the first round, we're going to need Jalen Brunson, and we're going to need Jalen Brunson to have nights like this, especially like if Luka's having the nights that he's had last, he had 2 in the last 4 games where he just off night shooting, and we're going to need Spencer and or Jalen Brunson to step up, and they're going to be big, and it's going to be crucial. And, those are my X factors for the Mavs in the playoffs. And I think those are honestly the X factors, period, for the Mavs. Anybody else says anybody else. I mean, I get it. Dodo, maybe if he's in, yeah, but he usually brings it every night. Reggie, same shit. He's going to take the threes. He might not make them, but he's going to take it, and he's still going to give you everything he can on defense. He still does good on defense consistently. We're going to get from Dwight. He's nothing. And then the only other player you can point to is like Spencer Dinwiddie, which, granted, yeah, maybe you don't know, but I know I've seen him, and I think he's had. I should have looked up the stats, but I know he's had good playoff moments. Like, I know he's no just scrub, but granted, he hasn't played on any good teams, but showing. I just feel like Spencer's new, and he's still coming off. As I said when we first got, I'm not gonna judge him on this first year. He's coming off ACL, so he's getting better back into his groove. That's why you're seeing him do so well, because now he's finally feeling healthy. You could tell by the way he's playing. But this is what you can expect kind of from Spencer. But from us, seeing Jalen Brunson and Maxi Kleber struggle in the playoffs the last 2 years, we know, and still having them on the team, we know they have to step up. And nights like tonight, give you that confidence, especially for at least Jalen Brunson's side. We know Kleber's in his head with his funk going on, but Jalen Brunson really stepped up. And this gives you confidence moving forward that hopefully he knows that, like, now when Jalen, when Luka's not going, and he knows how to get, hopefully he's just finding his ways throughout the season, like games like tonight, where how he can get a shot, how he can be aggressive, how he can use different lineups to go and score or make plays for us. And those are the little things that you learn, and easy blowout wins tonight. But you learned how to run the offense right, how to be efficient in what you do, so that way when playoff comes around, you know all the scenarios. Granted, it's going to be a different opponent, but it's you're learning the same scenarios. Just different people, but it's all a learning experience. And good stuff for Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie and the Mavs moving forward. Man, go ahead looking at our schedule coming up. As I said, big games. Tonight's standings at the end. Mavs tied with Utah Jazz for that 4th seed, right? But they hold the tiebreaker right now. They're up, so they have it. They're in the 4th seed. Mavs still in the 5th. But we have the exact same record at 45 and 28 because the Jazz lost tonight. Yeah. But so they lost. Timberwolves also lost tonight. And man, so that's awesome to see. I think the tiebreaker goes to the conference. It's either conference or division opponent. If it's conference, Mavs have it. Right now, we have a better record against the conference. But if it's division, which I think the tiebreaker eventually goes to division, besides the head-to-head, because Mavs play Utah Jazz one more time coming up. And so that'll be if we can get the tiebreaker on that, then I think it goes to division. They have a really bad division. Right now, the Jazz are 13-1 in their division, and the Mavs are 13-2 in our division. So it's going to be a close race coming down the stretch. And as I said, the Mavs play again Friday, which, I'll be here after the game. After every game, I'm going to be here for the Mavs and for y'all, for the fans. I'm here for y'all to come give y'all a recap every game, and so I can't wait to see y'all Friday. This is a big one. We're going to be at Minnesota. Again, we play Minnesota. Well, Minnesota again because we just played them, but we're going to be at Minnesota this time. It's a 7 o'clock game. That's going to be big. Seeding implications, because I think Friday that the Jazz play the Charlotte Hornets, which the Mavs had a slip up against them, so hopefully Charlotte can do the same against Utah on Friday as the Mavs take on Minnesota and can handle business there, because then on Sunday the Mavs take on the Jazz at home. Again, that's a big game right now. I think Utah Jazz has the lead 2-1 over the series head-to-head. So if the Mavs can get this win, then it'll tie it up 2-2. And then, going to the end of the season, it'll all be against the division or conference, tiebreakers and stuff, which I'll get more, and we'll get more clarification on that later on. But, we don't really need to stress over that. There's still like 10 games left. Let's focus on the next game ahead and go forward. But still, as I'm still going forward in the future, just giving out the games. The next two, Minnesota, Utah, are big. And then right after that, Tuesday, we play LA here at home, finish a little homestand, 2-game homestand, go against the Lakers, LA Lakers. It's a TNT game at 6:30, so I have a special guest you already know for that. And, this playoff race is getting crazy because the seedings with the way the NBA has put in the play-in scenario. This is awesome because everybody's jockeying for position. Nobody wants to be in the outside the top 6. So guys are really fighting. Those 7 through 10 seeds are really fighting. Even the teams below that, like the Spurs and Trailblazers and Kings, are really fighting, trying to get that 10 seed, try to get into that play-in tournament just to have a chance. And then teams like the Mavs we're really trying to push for that 4th seed, man. We want this home court advantage. We want it. We could taste it. We want it, man. We fucking want this shit. But, it's going to take, a lot. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. keep grinding day after day. I know J Kid's gonna lead the way. Get these guys these rests as we're doing it. But the team as a whole, just keep the boat afloat. Keep things going, man. Because the way the Mavs have been playing this, since the All-Star break, really, and post trade, everything's been great. Like Mavs have just been rolling. The team's been looking great. So we just got to continue this thing out. I hope we could push forward ahead in the seeding. These next 2 games are big, guys. Can't stress how big these next 2 games are. The last 10 are all big, but these next 2 are very important, especially seeding wise. Head to heads moving forward. You never know with the seeding with these 2 teams because they're all in that. Utah's in the 7th spot, so and they can move up to be. They could end up being in that. All the way up to the 4th seed by the end of the season. You never know. Crazy shit like that could happen, and so you really got to take all these teams and games seriously too at the end of the season. Especially you want to finish the season ramping up, playing your best basketball, and so far the Mavs are doing that. So that's good to see. Good stuff by the Mavs. Really excited. Y'all check that game out Friday again. It's at Minnesota, then Utah after that. So good stuff by the Mavs. I'm AG. Thanks for listening. You can follow on Twitter if you want at Mavs_rundown on Twitter. Mavs Rundown is on YouTube and Spotify, all free, for you. Check that out if you can. Spread the word. It's all about Mavs Rundown. Gonna have some more guests on, hopefully here in the future. Keep getting guys on, rotating on. Give y'all more just of my ass to listen to and shit. Gives you some more tones in your ear. But yeah, man. Appreciate everybody for listening to the pod. For this long. I want to give a special shout out to everybody. Y'all the real MVPs out there. I'm just doing what I love, trying to get the basketball out, get my knowledge on it, my point of view as a Mav fan and hoop head. So appreciate y'all. And remember, guys, cool heads prevail. And I'll see y'all next time on the Mavs Rundown.